Hey, it's Mike from MW3 Designs. If you're wondering what's in this stack of boxes next to me, well, this is the AmeriBrade 2x72 grinder package. We're gonna go through, open each box, show you what's inside, put it together, and hopefully do a couple of test runs. Stay tuned and check it out. All right, so as you can see, we have a pretty large stack of boxes here. They are labeled, this is a 5-piece shipment, so they're labeled 1 of 5, 2 of 5, 3 of 5, so on and so forth. As you can tell, the bigger box has probably got the grinder body in it. There is a box here that has the motor in it. You can tell by what's marked on the outside of the box. A couple other small heavy boxes, which I'm going to assume is the platen and the wheels. But we're going to go ahead right now and we're just going to open this box on top, which I've already opened. And this is just a belt kit. And as you can see, we got a ton of 2x72 belts here, all different grits. On AmeriBrade's website, you will see that they have a couple of different belt packages, depending on what you're going to use it for. Anywhere from a beginner package to a more advanced package with a lot of different grits. Got that. That's out of the way, and we're going to move on to the next box. All right, so here we have, this is box 3 of 5. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to open this up and see what we have in there. Good job packaging this. They use like a foam package wrap. So I just want to make sure when you're pulling these out, you don't, be careful if you pull it out straight because it might fall out of the bottom. And what we have in here, this looks like our speed controller. We did opt to get the unit with the speed control. So we'll go ahead and we'll pull this out. And this is a 110 option, so let's just push this box out of the way. So this is our speed controller here. And as you can see, it has two different plugs on here. This, I believe, is the plug that's going to connect to the grinder itself. It's a twist lock plug. And I opted for the 110 version so that I can just kind of move this around different areas of my shop and not have to really worry about a dedicated 220 plug. So as you can see, a plug that's going to go into our grinder and a plug that's going to go into the wall. Let's move on to the next box. All right, so moving down the pile here, this will be the next box on the pile. And this is box 2 of 5, and this is the motor. You can tell by seeing what's on the side of the box. And I'm not going to open the motor yet. I'm going to wait until we get the actual frame of the grinder out and assembled, and when it's ready for the motor. So let's move on to the next box down the pile. This one is 4 of 5. We got a caution heavy on there. This is pretty heavy. I'm assuming that this is going to be our platen and our wheels. So let's go ahead and see what we got here. So in this box, we have our platen, and this is, of course, they got more foam packaging holding everything together, which is great. Very well packaged. I definitely can't say anything bad about that. And this is the combo platen. So this is actually the steel platen, and then you got your rubber wheel here. Very, very cool design. What I'll be using this for a lot is when this is on the actual frame, you can twist it to use the wheel part, and you can also put it back up and use your platen and have your tool rest and everything on there. So I'm really excited about this part right here. Let's see what else we have in the box. Go ahead and remove this foam. Just check the bottom, make sure you don't have anything stuck inside your foam there. And it looks like we got a box with some parts in it here. This is going to be our drive wheel. You can see very well built, American made. It's a very great drive wheel here. Put this off to the side. See what else we got in the box here. All right, this is going to be one of our tool arms. Looks like we have a second tool arm here. And this right here is going to be the tilting base. This tilting base, you can actually take the whole entire grinder and flip it over to its side, which is a really cool feature. Can't wait to check that out. And then next we have the tool rest. And that's it for that box. All right, only box left we have here is going to be the box for the actual body itself, and we'll open that right now. All right, so moving on here, we got the bottom box. This, of course, is going to be the largest box, but you know it is going to be the grinder frame inside this box. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to open this box up and see what we got. There are metal staples on these boxes, so be careful when you open them up. You don't catch yourself on one of these staples. more foam packaging. They do a great job of packaging these things up. I can't even tell you enough how much of a great job that they do packaging these. Here it is. This is the grinder base. It is bolted down to a piece of plywood, and they actually have a wood frame right in the bottom of this box to keep everything nice and secure. So really great job packaging, no doubt. Inside this box, looks like we got our toolkit. And with that toolkit, there's another little metal piece. And what this piece is going to be is this is just an alignment tool, so you can align your drive wheel with the rest of the frame of the grinder itself. So everything's good. Right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this unpackaged. I'm going to move over into a different part of the shop where we're actually going to do some assembly. All right, so we moved over to a different part of the shop where we're going to actually give the AmeriBrade a new home. And as you can see, I already have a Porter Cable 4-inch belt sander, disc sander combo here. And then I was also using this really small 1-inch belt sander for a different, couple different things. So we're going to actually get rid of this 1-inch sander. And we're going to move this AmeriBrade 2x72 right in its place. Okay, what I have here right next to the grinder is I have the tilting base. So I'm hoping that with my clearance here and bolting my grinder down to the actual work surface, that I'm going to have enough space to get that thing tilted and have enough clearance. I didn't want to opt for the optional stand because I thought I was going to bolt that right here. So I'm really hoping that with my benches here, I do have clearance to get this thing turned over. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bolt that up. All right, so now we got those carriage bolts fed through there and the nuts started. I'm just going to make sure everything is even here. And then I'm going to tighten up with this Milwaukee Fuel brushless 12-volt right angle impact gun. I'm actually going to do a review on this tool separately. This is really a great tool. I definitely recommend this as well. All right, it's all mounted up. So what I'm going to do now, just kind of give it a test run here to figure out where and how I can rotate this thing to make sure I got clearance. And that's perfect. It looks like I'm going to have tons of clearance here to be able to spin this thing, work with the plane vertical as well as horizontal. So that's a great thing. Very easy to rotate this whole unit. You got this little turn knob here. Just turn that, rotate, and you're good to go. So right now, I'm just going to kind of find out a general spot where I want to put this on my bench. I'm going to bolt this base down, and then we'll continue on. Okay, so we got that articulating base mounted to our grinder. So what we're going to do now is I just want to get this actually screwed to the work surface before I mount the motor. I want to make sure that I can show you guys how to mount the motor, but I don't want this tipping back on us because of the weight of the motor. So I'm going to go ahead and just screw that down real quick, and then we'll get right into mounting the motor. All right, so we're going to move on to installing the drive wheel. What I did is I put a little bit of grease on the shaft. I got the key in there as well, ready to go. And on this actual drive wheel itself, there is a set screw. There is a included Allen wrench with the drive wheel that will reach down in there for that set screw, and that is included with the drive wheel in the box. And now there's going to be another hole on the opposite side as well. You'll see that the set screw is where the key is. And then on the other side, there is no set screw, but there is a hole on the top of the drive wheel. That's going to be just for balancing out the drive wheel. So there's one set screw, and then the other hole is just for balance. So we'll go ahead and we'll install this now. Make sure your keyway and everything lines up. And make sure your key doesn't fall out as you're trying to slide this on, because sometimes that'll happen. So go ahead and slide it on and tighten that set screw. All right, let's move on to the next step. All right, so the next step is going to be aligning your adjustment wheel with your drive wheel. They gave you this nice little tool that's cut out, and you can put that right against the base of the grinder itself, and then right down the front of your wheel here, and you can just adjust your motor so that everything is nice and straight. That way you got good tracking, and you shouldn't have any issues with your belt alignment. So now that we have that done, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get these snugged up just enough that where I can still make an adjustment. Then we'll go ahead and we'll tighten down one screw, double check, make sure we're still in adjustment, and then go ahead and tighten the rest of them down. All right, now like I said, I snugged up those bolts just enough so that I only got to make like, you know, a little quarter or half turn just to get them to be tight because I don't want to actually make this super tight right now. I want to be able to move it just a little bit, but not have a lot of slack in those bolts so that I'm going to move it as I'm readjusting it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this adjustment tool back on here. We're going to make sure that we're in adjustment. And that right there looks good. I'm going to go ahead and tighten down my first bolt. I'm going to come back and we're just going to take another measurement just to make sure that it didn't come out of. All right, so we got the motor mounted and what it looks like to be the wheel aligned very close, if not perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and flip this around, put the tool arms in there, and hopefully get a belt on there and just give it a couple of spins and see how our tracking is. All right, so now we got the stand bolted down to the actual table, so nothing's going to go anywhere. And as you can see, we got that angling motion, so we can go horizontal or vertical. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the platen in and the tool rest. So you're going to want to put your platen in. It's going to go on the top, of course. And then you have your tool rest arm, and you're going to want to put that jam nut facing up. And then you have your carriage bolt and your adjustment lever. And you're going to want to put this tool rest in through this side. Carriage bolt through there. And then put in your adjustment lever. All right, so you got your tool rest in there mounted. And you got the nice little quick lever there so that you can tighten that up. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take the tool rest out for now. Because we're going to go ahead and we're going to throw a belt on there and see how she tracks. All right, so I just grabbed a whatever belt came out of the box first. So this is 600 belt. We're going to go ahead and mount this belt on the grinder. I'm just going to give it a couple of twists by hand and see how she tracks. And just hit this adjustment wheel here and we'll get her to come back over. Alright, tracking doesn't seem so bad. Next step is going to be putting the speed controller box on there, get it plugged in, and fire it up for the first time. Alright, so here we have the speed controller, and one of the things I like about this unit, the AmeriBrade grinder and the speed controller, is that it actually mounts right to the side of the unit, right here. So it keeps everything nice and compact. You don't have to worry about mounting the speed controller somewhere else. This way, if I want to move this around the shop into different areas, if we expand or do something different, I can take it and move it. It's all one nice package. So I'm going to go ahead and mount this up, and we're going to get it plugged in and give it a run. Alright, so we have this all connected. Like I said, we got that twist lock connection, one twist lock connection on the speed controller, and then we have one twist lock connection on the motor itself. So we'll get that right over here and we'll get that connected. Alright, so the twist lock connection is done, and the only other thing that we got to do is just plug it into the wall and give it a run. Alright, so we're plugged in. Belt's on, we got the tracking down, and we're going to go ahead, I'm just going to put it on 0, we'll start it from 0, we got it in forward, and we're going to go ahead and turn it on and see what happens. Go ahead and adjust the tracking a little bit. 100% right there. And then there you have it. I mean, we're pretty much fully assembled. We got the tool rest here. We'll get that tool rest back in there. Just to get an idea what it's like to have that run with the tool rest. And everything is tight. Let's go ahead, fire it up. Go ahead and take a peek at it running in the horizontal position. Go ahead and turn that sideways. The tracking did change a little bit when I went horizontal. So if that's the case, then we kind of adjust that as well. I'm sure that we're gonna run into some issues as far as tracking goes, going from forward to reverse and then going from horizontal to vertical. Probably just the way that everything kind of sits. But so far so good. Looks great. Hopefully I can get back with some grinding videos for you guys for some different things that I'm going to be doing. All right, so I got a 40 grit belt on there right now, and a piece of 1/8 inch flat steel, a piece of 1/4 inch stock, and then just a piece of 14 gauge thin wall square tube. We're just going to grind them and see how they do. One thing I did notice when I was grinding, as you can see this, my tool rest here, I didn't tighten down the knobs here from when I had put it in earlier. So I just was actually moving that. So now we're more sturdy. It just came loose. I just had it kind of just snugged in there. But I love it. Can't wait to give it a try on some of the things that I've been working on here in the shop. And AmeriBrade, great product. Thank you so much.